You got Leon D here, and we're going to talk about food. I'm not an expert on anything to do with food, but I've been around a long time, and I am a professional barbecuologist. I know food. I know what I like. I know what I don't like. I know a lot of things that you may not like. That's the intro for Leon D. Let's get it on. Yeah, this is your boy Leon D. I'm here to tell you about some more cities that I've eaten at in the past couple of weeks. I've been to New Orleans, I've been to Atlanta, and I've been to Memphis. Now, when you go from New Orleans to Atlanta, it's really, really disappointing because New Orleans got great food everywhere. I'm talking about, I don't care where you are, what you want to eat, they got it close to you. And now in New Orleans, I went to Cafe Du Monde, and getting those vignettes are nice, but just a little bit too much sugar for me, and it never fails. You're gonna make a mess of yourself. And I have some GoPro shots of me eating vignettes, and I have some drone shots of the skyline in New Orleans, which is kind of pretty. You got the Caesar Superdome and other stuff, but you're gonna see those shots here as well. So just be patient, look at the shots, and you'll see New Orleans. Now, the focus is on Atlanta. I left from one place from New Orleans to Atlanta. In Atlanta, I was totally disappointed because, I went to a place called White Oak Tavern, something like that. But they charge you a gratuity before you actually get your food. And after ordering my food and seeing what I got, I realized now that that was not a bad idea to charge me for a gratuity before I ate, which is unusual to me because normally a gratuity is a thank you charge. You want to thank people for the service that for the service that they gave you, not for the service they are going to give you. And it's a huge difference. And so, and you go there and the food's all pretty and stuff, but it's not very much. I ordered a braised short rib for $56. And now the bones were cut across the bones. So in other words, you got 3 short ribs. I mean, short as in small, never gonna fill you up. And it is just what it is. And so I would have never ever tipped 18% based on what I got and the service I got. So I just gave what I thought it was worth. And my total bill with a drink, I'm talking about non-alcoholic with a drink and the short ribs, came out to about $70. So I gave about a $7 tip because it was not worth any of the service I got. Because you order on you order through this app or through your QRC code. You order your food, and there's no changing of anything you're gonna get. What you order, if you say I want to change something, they don't allow that. No. You don't get to pick what you want, and everything is a la carte. Now, people brag about the bread. I don't go there for the bread. And Atlanta didn't really have soul food the way I thought about it. I'm thinking of some mac and cheese, some potato salad, some rice and rice and gravy. I'm thinking about all those kind of things as soul food. No. That's not how it works there. Their version of soul food is totally different than my version of growing up and going to school in Atlanta. Now, I went to school there, 35 years ago. And the food today is totally different. And when you go downtown, Buckhead, downtown Atlanta, wherever you want to go, the food is not the same. And you don't find, how you want to say it? You don't find real Southern places downtown. And not only that, you don't find Southern soul food places downtown. And also, what you don't find is easy parking. You're going to pay to park. So you think about it. You go there and you sit there and you spend $70 on food, and then you got to spend another $20 on parking. So you out $90 before you can even say hello. And so you're gonna pay the money for the food. But at the same time, the food is very, very pretty. And Atlanta has become, I guess, full of themselves. They think that what they're offering is something unique. It's not at all. You go to Birmingham or Huntsville or wherever in Alabama or even other places in the South, and the food is a lot cheaper, and you are full when you leave. I left there and I went to McDonald's because you get a snack. You get a snack at a full entree price. You get a snack. And trying to find a decent salad is just hard to do nowadays in Atlanta. They offer stuff like kale. What's up with the collard greens? I was gonna go to a place called the Old Lady Gang, and I'm gonna go back there and do a review of that place as well. But I was gonna go there, but I had a few friends with me, and they said, "Oh, this is Atlanta soul food." Blah, blah, blah. No, it's not soul food. It's Atlanta new style, new Atlanta food, which is a huge difference. I could have went to the Varsity, and I would have spent probably $28 and been full on burgers and hot dogs and cheap fries. But when you go there and you look for food in Atlanta, they have some barbecue joints, and so I looked at a couple of them, but they are not really, I guess, people from Atlanta that's offering that kind of food. They are people who have migrated to Atlanta, and everybody in Atlanta, everybody seems like they are living beyond their means, because they all can't be working for Tyler Perry. They all can't be working for some R&B group in Atlanta who are resettled from up north or out west or whatever you want to call it. So when you go to Atlanta, the thing that you got to make the most of is that Atlanta they seem to think that they are on the same level as New York City. Now, in New York City, food costs quite a bit of money. But you know why? Because the wages are very high. They're paying people $20, $30 an hour. Atlanta, those idiots down there are still working for minimum wage. And they are loyal to the companies or to the restaurants that hire them. They are very loyal. And yet, they're making minimum wage. If I was making minimum wage, I would be given minimum effort. Minimum wage means minimum effort equals minimum intelligence. They all go together. So my point is, when you go to Atlanta, they live a dream life. They live a life they want to have, not in the life they have. Now, saying that, I want to go to a couple mom and pop places to eat at. But here's the problem with Atlanta, and it's the South in general. Why in the hell you have a restaurant and you only open 3 days out of the week? You only open 3 days out of the week. Unless you go to Buckhead, Peachtree, or downtown Atlanta. Those restaurants got strange opening hours and strange opening days. It's just strange to think that I can own a restaurant and I can pay my bills by working 3 or 4 days a week. I don't know how they figured all that out. But somehow they make it work, because a lot of these places have been around for like 20 and 30 years. And then everybody who thinks that they're on the Food Network thinks their food is good. Let me tell you something about that. Just because you're on TV don't mean your food is good. It means that the TV channel or station or network didn't have nothing else better to put on other than your sorry ass restaurant. Because I went to a place, she was like, I've been on the Food Network twice. Okay, that don't mean nothing. I got 550 channels of cable TV. I got 550 channels of cable TV. They got to put somebody on all of them. Everybody can't be on NBC, CBS, Fox, and the Food Network, and Bravo, and the Cooking Channel. Everybody can't be on those channels. But with 550 different channels, everybody can be somewhere on one of those channels. It is what it is. And, people say, hey, the bread is good, I'm happy with some cornbread with a little butter on it. I'm happy with that. I don't need all this other stuff. So saying that, I noticed that when I was in Buckhead, the people who were eating out a lot were people who were off reality TV. I don't care what channel you're on, Bravo Network or whatever you want to call yourself. They were all on reality TV, or they were like me, visiting Atlanta, for a decent meal. And so you don't see the locals, the people making $7.25 or $8.25 an hour. You don't see them in those restaurants. No, you only see the people who are not from Atlanta, people who are perpetrating and trying to make it sound like they are rich or they are wealthy, and they're not. You can tell they're not. You can tell they come from some TV show that maybe shouldn't even be on any network. But and then everywhere I went, it was a few restaurants I looked at for breakfast. They were filming TV shows. Now Atlanta filmed TV shows all over Atlanta all day. Yeah, you can tell because you see the police presence, you see people walking by and trying to be on TV like, hey, I'm the next freak that you want to hire. I'll do any and everything for you just to give me a couple minutes of exposure. So that was one of the things about Atlanta that intrigued me a little bit. And like I said earlier, you can't find parking at night. You must go to a parking garage to, in order to enjoy a meal. And then you got to hope that no one tows your car. It's not like Philadelphia where they tow your car while you're in your car. No. It's not like that. But I'm the kind of person that I don't mind paying for parking to eat. But how can you charge me $20 for the first hour and $30 for the whole day? Basically, you're telling me after you stay there 1 hour, 1 minute, you're paying for the whole day. Even though you got to leave and go to your hotel and pay to park at your hotel in addition to paying for the park to go eat. So your parking fees can exceed your food bill. It won't be the first time. It won't be the last time. It's just how Atlanta rolls. Now, the thing with Atlanta too is that you can't go to the suburbs and eat like a lot of cities. The suburbs, they shut down. They shut down. The restaurants close at 8 o'clock. They're not open on Monday and Tuesday. That seems to be a common thing. They don't open on Monday and Tuesdays, and some don't open on Sundays. Now, usually, mom and pop restaurants, Sunday is an easy money day because you can have a buffet, sit food out. You need one, one cook or one server, and you need one person to put the food out. You can have 3 employees, maybe a cashier, 4 employees for the entire day on a Sunday, and you get in there 40 or 50 families, and you're charging them $15 to $20 each, well at least $20 each. You're talking, $1,200 to $1,300 of easy money that you can make with little to no effort at all. But some people say, well, you get to Atlanta, the food is great. Maybe back in the day, but when fishing, when shrimp and grits cost you $25 to $40. Shrimp and grits cost you $25 to $40. That is a cheap meal to make. Grits are damn near free. They damn near free. I made some the other day, and the grits cost me maybe $2 a box, and the shrimp cost me maybe, for 40 of them, maybe $17 a pound. And I got 40 of them from Costco. And here's the kick of it all. So you're talking, and with labor, you're talking maybe $15, with labor. So you can say $40 for one meal. But that box of grits and that shrimp, that can make 4 or 5 meals easily. The markup is crazy because shrimp and grits was so cheap. That was slave food. That was gula food. That was slave food. It was a cheap meal. It was, and it's a quick meal to make. It's not like you got to do any real work. It's a cheap meal. It's a quick meal. And you're going to charge me $35 to eat that? and everybody knows to eat grits, you're gonna not be full. It's not intended to fill you up. It's just another hominy. But people go down to Atlanta, and Atlanta say, "Oh, you get kale." What's wrong with collard greens, green beans, peas, carrots? That's all cheap food. So what's up with this now new Atlanta where they're charging you California prices? That's why people go to California. They eat Mexican food. It's cheap comfort food. Shrimp and grits, cheap comfort food. Because it's not like you getting, jumbo shrimps. You're getting a lot of shrimps that's not even big as a fingernail. So, but people go down there and they make it sound like it's some kind of delicacy that was just discovered last week. No, that's slave food that's been around 300-400 years. So it's nothing new. It's nothing unique. It is just what it is. So saying that, when you go to Atlanta, my advice to you, avoid all the shacks because you don't know their hours. You can't go by Yelp. You can't go by Google. Their hours are what they're going to make it want to be. But people tend to think, I'm in Atlanta, I got to have this, I got to have that. A party of four of us spent about $400. One guy had a couple, mixed drinks. They spent about $400. And we all ate around 6 o'clock. But by the time it was 10:30 at night, we were all saying, we got to go to bed because we got to get breakfast in the morning. Because there's nothing open at all. No shacks, no nothing's open. And this is on a Monday night. We're thinking something got to be open past 9 o'clock. No. That's not how Atlanta roll. Things close. They even close before the sign on the door says we're closed. And then you go to a bar, you're going to have bar food. And everybody knows that's the nastiest food in the world. You got one cook who just deep frying everything. And most of the time it's already deep fried. They just got to warm it up a little bit, and probably an air fryer would do the job for you, or a sous vide. And then what they don't sell today is there for tomorrow. They know exactly how many they're going to sell today. They know exactly how many they need for tomorrow. So Atlanta was very disappointing, especially when you leave New Orleans, where all the food is fresh, the gumbo, everything they have is damn near fresh that day. You can see them catch it out of the nasty Mississippi River. You can see them catch it, but it's fresh. Atlanta ain't near a river. Atlanta is not near the coast. So their food is not going to be fresh. Their food is going to be food that someone, you may as well be in Kansas, Nebraska somewhere, or North Dakota, because the food is going to taste the exact same, because the food was caught a long time ago. So for those who want to pretend they are what they're not, go to Atlanta and try and find a decent soul food meal, because I could not find a soul food meal in Atlanta downtown. Whether it was Buckhead, Peachtree, the downtown area of Atlanta, you can't find one. Now, I'm not saying there's none there, because there could have been some there. They were just not open. A lot of restaurants are closed during the week, and I just don't understand how you can stay in business and make money and you're closed most of the time. But that's my take on Atlanta. In the next video, I'm gonna tell you about my revisit to New Orleans. But we got a lot of videos coming up. Look at the drones. The drones will also tell you what city I'm in when I'm reviewing foods and cities to eat at. And I go to at least 3 or 4 different restaurants every single time I travel. I want to have a breakfast, a lunch, and dinner. I'm usually down there for at least 2 or 3 days, and I rotate through. Now, I have my favorite ones, but I rotate through, so I give you a perspective on eating downtown, the suburbs, and eating at shacks. I try to give you one of each one every single time I travel, so you can hear my experiences with all of them. And like I said, Atlanta is just not cheap food, and it's just amazing that the wages are so low. Maybe it's the rent or the real estate or where they're located at that's sucking the money out of these places. But also what contributes to that, they're not open 7 days a week. Nope, you won't find it. This is your boy DJ Leon D. This is about Atlanta and Atlanta food. Peace.